Hello everyone. Welcome back to another cast of Tooth and Tail Champions, Season number 1, 2023. This is the group stages, Swiss style format. Everyone is battling to stay in. The top 8 will move on to the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then finally the last two will battle out to the finals. Before we get into this cast of Melvinfro versus Kipo, two super big names in the scene. Cannot wait to see how they turn out. I want to remind anyone watching to please, if you want to support the channel as we grow, please subscribe and like the video. Alright, without further ado, let's get into game. Game number 1 here. Melvinfro versus Kipo. Spawning in the far left is Melvinfro, playing his Bellified, as he so often does, and very close to him, spawning in the top right, is Kipo, playing Hopper. Yeah, very close rush distance on this map, even a little bit of road in the middle to get them closer together. Each player with a pretty okay expansion, Melvinfro with a little bit of a better one. But I want to talk about decks for now. Melvinfro bringing this interesting composition, Badger Owl. We've been seeing a little bit of the power of this Badger, Badger Owl. We've been seeing this power of this Badger Owl on show, as of recent, mostly just for Melvinfro here. This is the deck he's been loving to run. By the way, a 6-farm single here, 5-farm single maybe, and he's loving to run this deck. It's working really well for him, and he thinks this late game composition is kind of the ultimate tier 3 late game composition in the meta right now. And so we'll see if he's right. We'll see if he's correct about that. See how he uses it mostly. Now Kipo on the other hand is actually going to bring some nice decent counters to the things that Melvin has. Right, double tier 3 boar Wolf, which is definitely a unique and unusual composition. Keep trying to move out here. Does not have enough. Gonna go home. So the reason that you often don't see Wolf Boar is because the Wolf buff doesn't actually help the Boar at all. Right? It only gives it a little bit of movement speed, and that's it. Right? But you actually want the Wolf for is to buff Falcon, Cam, Snake. Right? Those are super nice tier 2 to have buffed by that Wolf. And so you're going to hope to get a lot of snake tags onto the badgers, onto the owls, use the boar, use the falcons to clean up any mice waves there might be, and then get the rest of your stuff on top of the badger owl to try to clean it up. Now the reason we have a couple counters here in Kipo's deck, and the reason he's bringing the wolf and the snake specifically is because they're really good at killing mice waves and then chasing down a retreating badger. One of the most dangerous things in this game is a retreating badger, because a lot of times you're just getting full kited with a fully revved badger that's just a dead army basically. So a snake is going to obviously be able to get tags on top of that badger, and it's going to go really fast along with the falcons because of the wolf buff. So I think this is, if any deck is going to be able to hold its own against Melvinfro's tier 3 composition, it's going to be the one Kipo's bringing. Now, both players have thrown out a tier 2. Kipo a little bit later here, just getting this Cam worn down. Melvinfro already has his second skunk producing here. On this map, Kipo actually has a bit of a low ground disadvantage here, right? Getting the second Cam as well. These skunks could potentially provide some really good pre-gas onto these pigs from the high ground and get a really nice engage if Melvin decides to do that. You can see Kipo positioning his army on top of this hill because he sees that this could potentially be a weak point where he could get shelled down from. Now, another interesting thing about these decks that both players have decided to bring is no one bringing moles. We've seen a large use of moles recently. Also a couple falcons out of Melvinfro, just to point that out. Moles have been super in the meta recently. Really good secondary tier 1 pick. Allowing for very aggressive play that really just wasn't possible in a lot of earlier patches. Kipo also going to grab snakes, so staying equal in that tier 2 arms race. However, not getting falcons yet, so interesting decision. I think Melvinfro is going to have a really nice composition to deal with Kipo's. I mean, all basically 4 cams against 4 falcons, right? It can really go either way. It really is going to depend on the micro of Melvinfro. But you cannot you cannot tit or tat Melvin's micro. It's really solid. So I think if anyone can make this work, it's going to be Melvin. I'm going to add this badger into the deck. Okay, so very late 1-base badger. Yeah, this is around the 4-minute mark. Those first 4 starting pigs will farm out at 5 minutes, so 1 minute Melvin's income is going to be cut completely in half, and once that happens, your ability to actually buy more things is really limited. So paying for this badger and getting more pigeons, etc., that's actually probably going to be a problem for Melvin here. Kipo sees the Badger. Now that Badger is about to be built, so this is way too late for Kipo to actually throw down any tier 3 of their own. They're gonna have to try to rely on tier 2 or try to make a push happen. They do have a big army. You can see it's actually about even to Melvin, but again, Melvin now paying for this Badger. Yeah, looks like Kipo's gonna try to move in here. I think this is maybe, yeah, this is a good decision, I think. Really is gonna end up coming down micro. Oh wow, those cams getting revealed very early though, before the fight starts. Although they are surviving quite a while. But this gas is absolutely brutal for Kipo here. Losing absolutely everything, losing the commander as well. And that is gonna be one more cam going down after the fight. GG, Kipo taps out. Dang, just could not push into Melvinfro's entrenched position there. And look at this, oh my goodness, lost so much versus Melvinfro, only losing a little bit. Those Falcons were just destroyed those cams. It was insane. Alright, that's game number 1 going to Melvinfro. Top of the game number 2 here. Spawning in the middle left is Melvinfro, playing Bellified again. And in the very south is Kipo, back to Hopper. Now, both players keeping their decks up. I don't think it was really a deck problem necessarily last game, but Kipo scouted that that Badger very late, and so he really had very few options on what to do there. I think maybe the better choice would have been to buy snakes and just try to hold a Badger push, but I mean either of those options are not super enticing. Melvin going to throw down a 5-farm single here, just for safety. I'm not sure he scouted his opponent yet. No, he hasn't seen his opponent, so just going to throw down a 5-farm safety to be careful. These are tournament games, remember, so a lot of times you might see players, especially on ladder or just in casual games, playing a little more risky. Oh, Melvinfro still not scouting that base there. So very late scout here from Melvin. Going to sell that single and then rebuy. Kipo allowing himself, just going to get up to 8 farms, so being a little bit ahead of Melvinfro here. And it's honestly, Melvinfro's not really going to be able to move out with the squirrel once it pops out. There's so much stuff in the way that Kipo should have plenty of time. So just a nice early game lead here for Kipo. But what I was saying is, you have to remember these are tournament games, so stress, can be a huge factor here. Especially just not wanting to give away a game for free to something so stupid as like a tier 1 early game pre-8 farm rush, right? That's just not what you want to happen. So Kipo going to take his nice early game advantage here, just take an expansion out. And now, yeah, definitely seeing this base now. Okay, good. And Melvinfro going to match the expand. Kipo here going to grab cams as well and a farm. So the reason Kipo is playing so gritty is because he feels he's actually able to. Just because the slight advantage that he has, just based on a number of things, obviously, but because of Melvinfro's late scouting in the start, and because of, terrain stuff, there's water here and there's a campfire here, so that's going to provide a lot of defensive options for someone like Kipo. Right, Kipo has a really nice 3 bases here that are going to be super defendable. This choke is absolutely brutal if Melvin decides to move through this. However, I'd say the same is probably, it's probably the same the other way around. I just want to point out that Melvinfro has these 2 bases very tight, but these 2 bases over here, actually, there's one way to get over to them. You can go, Tipo can go through here and then attack these bases. So they are somewhat safe, but there is a backdoor to get them. Melvinfro may take them if it gets that late, but might just end up playing off a 2-base Badger Owl here. So both players have their tier 2 out. It's somewhat starting to equalize now. Oh, look at this. Kipo moving out. Gonna force a sell on a farm. Melvinfro was super ready for that. That's just great game sense from him. So able to sell that farm, only losing about 10 food. So nice pickup there from Kipo, delaying the farm, getting himself up. But really no harm, no foul. Not a huge deal either way. Yeah, just nice defensive play there. That Melvinfro just being on top of that. Making sure not to lose anything there to Kipo. And now both players just going to be up to 16 farms. We might see a tier 3 drop tier from either side at this point. Or we might see the expand. Yeah, I wouldn't even mind an expand here from Kipo. This is a super solid base to have. Like a fast expand like really soon, I think is really solid. I imagine Melvin's going to drop a tier 3 here. This seems to be his MO. Yeah, going to be dropping the Badger. Maybe even followed by an Owl soon. And actually, Kipo going to drop a boar of his own. So very similar timing here for both players. Melvin throwing down a lot of tier 1 as well, maybe worried about a potential attack. But Kipo is just throwing down a ton more tier 2, so grabbing snakes, grabbing falcons, and of course that boar on top of it. Just diversifying army a lot. Also going to take out this campfire, get a nice extra little bit of food and come on top of it. Melvinfro grabbing more cams. We really need to see some Falcons out of Melvin. There they are. There are some Falcons, and I wonder if Melvin might even consider dropping some Owls at this point. Probably just worried about this board push, right? The board can be pretty detrimental if hits before any tier 3 get out, and so Falcons are going to be a really useful tool for dealing with that. But both tier 3 are almost identically timed here. They're going to come out at the same time. And Kipo with a slight advantage here, just able to get this extra farm up here. So slightly ahead in terms of farms. I actually would like to even see like 2 or 3 farms just to try to get this lead a little bit further ahead. There we go. Grabs another farm. And I think it's actually the prerogative is going to be on Melvin to move out here. Melvin is probably going to be one to try to pull the trigger unless they grab another base. Also, I think Melvin maybe should grab this campfire. It'd be nice, just a free bit of food to try to keep it somewhat close to even with Kipo here. And yeah, Kipo up to 8 Falcons, so this Falcon count is growing exponentially. They have a pretty large advantage right now in that Falcon count, and Falcon count at this stage in the game means a lot. Now, not to discount Melvin's tier 2 composition, Cam Falcon is pretty brutal, especially with 4 cams, but 10 Falcons, again, albeit those 10 Falcons are not on the board yet. A lot of them still building, only 4 Falcons right now, so just the same as Melvin. Those Falcons, oh, they need to get out. Kipo, rally your army, and this Falcon is not moving in. And here comes the fight. Badger instantly taking so much damage. The Boar Bomb gets everything. All the tier 1 gone for Melvinfro, but not losing any tier 2 and just going to heal everything up. So actually a really nice pickup there for Melvinfro. Did get the boar out of the way from Kipo. And just going to heal everything up. Now look at this. Yeah, a ton of poison stacks. Just going to be forced to heal all this stuff up. But now Kipo up to 9 Falcons. There's that delay, right? Lost the boar, but has so many Falcons. Also these cams kind of on the side, positioning, doing so much micro here, trying to get the perfect angle of attack here. And Melvinfro moving around up to the north here. The Falcons are in. There's so many Falcons for Kipo. Second volley getting off now, wiping out the cams, wiping out everything. That Badger is revved up, trying to focus it down, and I think it's going to die. Yes, that's everything gone. Everything is gone for Melvinfro, but Kipo losing all of his Falcons as well. So many cams left for Melvin. At the end of this fight, they're going to be able to get rid of this base. But look at this. The second boar is here for Kipo, and this counter push could be absolutely brutal. The question is, does Kipo even want a counter push? I guess he doesn't want the second Badger to come out, but he does have the eco advantage right now. Trying to push the advantage he has right now. 6 Falcons, that's a lot of Falcons. I think Kipo, unless there's a huge micro mistake here, has a really good chance of just making the game. And right now, here comes the fight, trying to bait it out. The Falcons are doing so much damage. They have so much DPS. But I think we need to keep that boar on top of the tier 1, on top of the Warrens, and yes, everything going down. This one Falcon still alive though for Melvin. I'd like to see it go down. And I don't think this counter push is quite exactly what Kipo wanted to have in mind here, at least. That Falcon does go down to the snake poison. So all in all, let's see. Yeah, I think Kipo losing a little bit more in that counterattack, but did wipe out a lot of Warrens. You see that Melvin actually having to rebuild his tier 1 Warrens entirely, sold off all the cams, and Kipo still has a lot, right? Still up at 9 farms. This eco lead is quite in favor of Kipo at this point, and this eco lead is going to start to show at this point in the game when the ecos get lower, right? Melvin down to only 5 farms right now, so this 7 to 5 is going to be actually a larger difference than it might seem. And look, Kipo even grabbing more farms. Feels no rush to move out. Melvin actually the one going to be forced to move into him, and Melvin down to only 2 Falcons, and Kipo only buffing his Falcon count at this point. Yeah, wow, this is looking really, really good for Kipo in a very commanding position right now. Similar on army value, a little bit ahead, but way ahead in economy for a long time. So Melvin needs to make some magic happen with this Badger. Only rallying the Badger. Oh, getting a ninja up here though, Melvin. Looking for something here. But I think Kipo might realize that they have the army advantage with this boar. Is waiting for the attack. If the attack doesn't come, they might suspect a bit of foul play here from Melvin. But even with this ninja, they're still behind on farms. So, and also Kipo should realize that his opponent is starving right now. Needs to go check. Needs to go see. Hasn't scouted in a while. Doesn't know that those farms are fallowed out. And look at this. Melvin just able to get up a ninja here. Kipo needs to scout this. Is not really doing a great job of scouting right now. Probably we'll see it soon. But looks a little indecisive right now, grabbing more Falcons. Yeah, quite far ahead here in Army. And this is the moment when Kipo needs to move out. They need all the information that they don't have. They need to see this ninja, which they are going to see. Yeah, so Kipo now knows what's happening. And this is probably going to be the push in here from Kipo. Melvinfro sees that he scouted it, and I think this is going to be Kipo deciding to move in here. Ooh, actually just going to get more farms here and move the cams out alone. Now Melvin did move his army over here to protect the ninja. So no cams next are going to come out here from Kipo. But I think Kipo just needs to move in. This army advantage is way too much for Melvin to be able to handle. Ooh, looking for a bit of a snipe here on this farm. He's going to get it. So nice pick up there from Kipo, getting 60 food for free. Melvin kind of rallying in, I guess. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, gonna pull back. Oh, just rallying the Falcons in, looking for a Falcon hill snipe. Look at the Falcons coming over the horizon, on top of the pigs. One pig goes down, and just okay, 1 for 1. Nice. Both players abusing a little bit of terrain here. That's funny. And honestly, the economy is equalizing a little bit at this point. But look, Kipo just had so much more for so much longer. Look at this army difference. Kipo needs to just scout the Warrens and see, oh my goodness, this person's at, what, 12 squirrels and a couple falcons? That's it. I mean, this is the time when Kipo needs to move out. The longer the game goes on, the more one-sided, well, I mean, the more chance Melvin really has to come back from this, because Melvin is so far behind in terms of army right now. And the fact that they're even in eco is a wonder. I mean, it's 8 falcons to 2. This is just this is game ending if people just decides to right-click in. From anywhere, just hit the main base, hit the whatever, right? Set up for a base race, whatever you need to do if you're Kipo right now. But you need to do something. You cannot just let Melvin safely get economy up right now. And now is getting another mill, so keeping the economy up. So Kipo actually has 10 farms up here because of this campfire. So Kipo, again, still ahead on economy. But now, look, Melvin throwing down a ton of Falcon Warrens. Kipo needs to see that this is happening. Melvin is getting back in this. Slowly but surely, getting back in this. And Kipo needs to not let this happen. Kipo throwing down some more Falcons of their own, but somehow unable to match the pace of Melvin, because Melvin actually, again, sold off all of his tier 1. This is the kind of top-level plays that Melvin loves to make, right? Knows that if at any point Kipo just right-clicks in, it's game over. Squirrels or not. If the squirrels are sold off, game over. Squirrels are there, it's game over, right? So it just decides to sell off those squirrels, hope that Kipo does not move in, and Kipo is not moving in. Again, I hate to harp on this over and over again because I sound like a broken record, but I mean this is just so much difference. Yeah, and it's becoming less and less all of a sudden. Look at this. Look at the spike. Melvinfro stagnant for so long, all of a sudden is jumping up. That Falcon count so important. Up to 10 Falcons now. Kipo getting up to 14. But I liked it better when it was 8 to 2. That's all I'll say. Melvin grabbing this 4th base. Kipo only a couple farms ahead right now. Again, a huge economy lead for Kipo. I don't know why Kipo is not deciding to move in here, honestly. It's a little bit hard for me to understand exactly. I mean, obviously, as the caster, you have perfect information, right? I can see everything, right? And I can see this army difference, at least at this point. So it's really hard for the players in the moment, a lot of times, to actually tell this kind of thing. So I don't blame, but at this point, at a couple points ago, the army difference was a lot larger. And I think Kipo really should have known that. Here, a bit of a snipe coming in here. Getting on top of the mill! Oh my goodness. Melvinfro. Gonna get the mill. Are you kidding me? What a pickup. Now, Kipo, no, try to get the camps. And Kipo just gonna let it happen. Are you kidding? Why? Just gonna go back and buy more units? Okay, gonna move out. But, okay, still has an army advantage here. I think still might be able to do this. It's going to come down to how this boar tanking does, right? If all the Falcons for Kipo die instantly, it's not going to work out. Here comes the fight. Badger starting to get revved up. The boar on top of everything. Not taking much damage, though. There we go. Now doing some tanking, and yeah, this is it. Melvinfro taking so many losses. Still so many Falcons alive for Kipo. And this is the move that Kipo needed to make, 5 minutes ago. But At the end of the day, that's going to be GG. Melvin has to tap out, tying us up 1-1. All right, exciting game number 2, long game number 2. Here we go, game 3. All right, spawning in the very south, Melvinfro holding on for dear life that entire last game, doing a great fight the entire time, and Kipo tying things up, spawning in the top, bringing a different deck here. Melvin's sticking with that same Badger Owl. We haven't seen the Owl yet, so we actually haven't seen that composition, but we're seeing a lot of good Badger play from Melvin. Kipo, on the other hand, going to go for more of a meta play, keeping that core Cam Falcon Snake that they really like, but as I mentioned in game 1, adding in the moles, right? Really, really strong and aggressive tier 1 option, and obviously keeping that board cherry on top. So dropping the wolf for the mole, and I don't mind this decision at all. I don't think the wolf meshes particularly well with the boar specifically, right? It's obviously good with the tier 2, but I mean, there's probably just better options, and I think maybe the mole might help him be a little bit more aggressive if Melvin decides to go for the greedy things that he is so known for. Kipo going for a mole rush, but Melvin so on top of his scouting right now. Will force a sell on a couple of these farms here. So yeah, gonna be a nice mole rush, pretty easy here from Kipo. And Melvin has this, oh, selling it down, okay. Yeah, Melvin was safe. Only delaying these farms a little bit. So Kipo, nice mole rush there. Forcing the sell on 2 farms. Really only one. One was still just a queued farm, so definitely not the end of the world here. And Kipo gonna go for a very quick expand here. Look at this. This is a very interesting map. Very interesting, just cute, tight. This is not something Kipo can do. Kipo loving to play with these moles all of a sudden. Makes you wonder why they didn't bring in the last games. They love these things apparently. So nice seconds from both players. But 3 campfires spaced between the mills and then water over the rest of it. Gonna make for a very defensive 2-base style play. But Kipo really does not have an option for a 3rd base, whereas Melvin has this 3rd base available to him if he so chooses. If Kipo wants a 3rd base, it's gonna have to be a ninja, and against a cam player... Oh, actually, Melvin... I could have sworn Melvin had cams in one of these games. Maybe I think Melvin had cams last game, I'm fairly certain. Again, still can try to force pressure on ninjas like that. Ninjas are never really the game plan you want to be relying on, so... Both players looking, they're just going to start farming up here safely, you know, Kipo grabbing a Camborn. Melvin will probably follow suit here pretty soon, or maybe decide to just go into eco. Yep, grabbing some skunks of his own. I think we're going to be seeing a pretty defensive game here. Kipo getting a bit of an advantage here in terms of economy tempo. Up to 12 farms here before. You can see the steps have been definitely Kipo favored. Boom, you know, a little bit here and there, but I think Melvin will probably match. Definitely not a huge deal. But if Kipo manages to stay ahead in terms of economy like this, also staying ahead in terms of tech. Actually, I like how Kipo's playing this, managing to stay ahead in pretty much all the important areas of the early game. Right, at the early game, the important things to do are 1, the first rule of Tooth and Tail, don't lose, okay? That's the first rule. Keep it doing a good job. Already is just fine there, hasn't lost yet. Second rule, get economy and get tech, right? These are the things you want to do. These are how you progress in the early game when there's no actually fighting happening. You want to get tech just greedy enough where you're not going to lose, but, you know, I mean, just risky enough that you're going to get ahead, but just safe enough for not going to lose, basically. And Kipo, oh, going up to 6 cams. Melvinfro going up to 2 skunks, but also Badger dropped from Melvinfro. And I don't know about... I think Kipo's tripled cam, obviously a threat, but against a Badger, I don't know if this is the greatest decision. I would really prefer to see Falcons, especially against Skunk Badger, right? Skunks are going to not going to perform super well against those Falcons. And I think 4 is plenty. Yeah, okay, going to drop one of those 4 snakes and the boar, but the boar very far behind. The boar at least 30 seconds behind this Badger, probably a little more actually. So I don't know if Melvin decides to move out right as this Badger finishes, it's going to have a really, really nice window to attack into Kipo's base here. So we'll see what Kipo decides to do. If they can hold this probable push that's coming, And look, Kipo dropping more Falcons here with the boar and all, but I don't know if this is going to come out in time, right, is the problem. You need this stuff to defend, but if that Badger is coming in 5 or so seconds when it completes, this could be a real problem for Kipo. None of his tier 2 are really going to be out in the field at this point. Now the Badger's out. Let's see if Melvin decides to move out, and it looks like he is, or maybe just posturing. No, yeah, going to move out. Grab a mill on the way out, and start to pick out these campfires as he moves forward. Getting these skunks out in front, looking for some pre-gas. Also some pre-healing as well. Now the skunk pre-gas comes down. Kipo up to only 2 Falcons. This is just not enough Falcons. Ooh, Melvinfro kiting these cams so effectively. This Badger mowing down everything. And these skunks just not dying. So many getting to like 1 HP, 2 HP, but just not dying. These pigeons keeping everything alive. Now Kipo has some more Falcons on the board. Getting some snake tags on top of things. There's so many pigeons here for Melvinfro. 15 pigeons, just nothing is dying. Now the boar is on the field, roasting down everything. Snake tags finally being the stuff to take things down. But no! The Badger is doing so much damage. And this Badger has a lot of snake tags on it, but there's so many pigeons it just cannot die. Oh, there we go. A couple cam hits doing a lot of damage to it. On top of these poison tags, Melvinfro has to be very careful, losing so many pigeons. Is there enough to keep this alive now? Still 4 poison tags. Oh yeah, but there's just enough pigeons, I think, to keep this alive. Poison tags expiring. Wow. What a fantastic attack from Melvinfro, doing so much just crippling damage to Kipo at this point. Now, not taking out the mill, which would have just been GG, but look, has this extra mill, getting more farms, and gonna try to re-push, I think. We're just trying to rebuild some of these tier 2. It has only so much time before this Badger hits. And really just needs a miracle at this point. It needs to wipe up those pigeons and then get a ton of tags onto this Badger. Pre-gas trying to come in here from Melvinfro. Trying to start this fight promisingly. And Kipo has to be so careful with these snakes. These snakes are the only things. Oh, losing a snake early in the fight, losing a cam early in the fight, and this is not how you want to start. Badger is fully revved, and I don't know if Kipo is going to be able, trying to dive the Badger with the pigeons, or with the snakes that is, and this Badger just cannot die. There's so many pigeons in the field. That's going to be the base going down, and that's going to be Kipo tapping out. GG's, bringing us to game number 4 here. Let's see if Melvin closes out here, or if Kipo can bring us to a game number 5, spawning in the top right, Melvinfro. On match point right now, and in the middle left is Kipo, fighting for their life, kind of. I mean, obviously, everyone's kind of fighting for their life. This is the group stages, so a loss doesn't mean you're eliminated, but it's going to count to your final score, so only the best players will get to move on. Let me explain the scoring a little bit for the group stages. If you win one, you get a +1. If you lose, you get a -1. Let's say you win 3-0, you get, a +3 game score. You lose 3-0, you get a -3 game score, etc. Now you're gonna play like 3 or 4 matches in this group stages, and those are all gonna add up. So you'll have a final number of, games won, and you'll have a final total tally of matches like individual games won. And then the top 8 will move on to the quarterfinals. They'll be put into a seeded bracket. They'll play. That'll be top 4. Top 4 will play. That's semifinals, and then top 2 will play in the finals. I cannot wait for that moment to come. A little hint, I'm recording these a little bit after they've been played out. The finals are coming up in a couple days. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil who's in those finals as of yet, but I am going to be casting in those finals with a couple other notable casters in the scene. Really excited for that. It's going to be a super, super exciting thing. If you want to tune in live to watch those, it's going to be Saturday. Let's see. Saturday... Ooh, boy. That must be the 14th? I think it's the 14th. Don't quote me on that. It's something like that. No, it's the 15th. Saturday the 15th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you'd like to tune in for those, go ahead and watch those live on the Tooth and Tail TV Twitch channel. We'll have a lot of wonderful casters. So please sure to tune in for that. In this game, both players playing relatively safe. Melvin with a bit of a tier 1 advantage here. Almost looking if they want to move out here. Kipo with the second mill. Got a farm on it. And Melvin with a little bit of indecision right now. Do they want to move? Do they want to expand? Do they want to move out? It looks like they're going to expand. I think this is the right decision. Throwing down a lot of tier 1 warrens, selling off everything to afford more tier 1 warrens. Wow. And a badger. Oh my goodness, a very early 1-base badger. Really good hiding spot too. I don't know if people's going to expect this, but oh my goodness, fantastic scouting from Kipo. Instantly seeing this badger warren. Now the question is, what is the response going to be? Yeah, instantly going to farm up on the second mill. This is what you do when you see an early badger like this. Sell off a ton of tier 1. Oh, actually, they're going to try to move in. This is also another response. Although this has the potential to go wrong. Potentially. Not necessarily, but potentially. Kipo does have moles, so this could be a really, really useful tool to actually move in on. Now, Kipo doesn't know if Melvin has sold this badger warren off or not, trying to get the scout in there, but actually died before it was able to see that. They might suspect that that Melvinfro sold this badger off. But they won't know for sure. And they also haven't seen really the second base much. So I would like to see a little bit different scouting here from Kipo. Also, I'd like to see some moles dropped if they have moles in this deck. There we go. Moles getting thrown down. 21 squirrels on the field. A huge advantage over Melvinfro here. But this badger is almost on the field. Really just needs to move out now, I think. They cannot really wait for a ton of these moles to come out, because this badger is 20 seconds away. Even if Kipo does a ton of damage here, they need to be able to kill the badger once it's out on the field. Now it's on top of the warrens, attacking into everything. Melvinfro just kiting back. No! Kipo losing their commander in the most critical moment. This is not what you want, but even an uncontrolled army of this size from Kipo is so dangerous. But no, the badger is out, and that's just going to clean up this entire tier 1 army from Kipo. This is absolutely brutal. Wait, no, the badger really low, though, actually. But has only a couple pigeons to actually heal it up at this moment. Oh no, Kipo trying to make some mole kite thing work, but getting out, just totally kited by this. Needs to sell these moles off. Gonna do nothing against the badger. So badger getting healed up now. I don't think Kipo really needs these moles anymore. They're not going to be important to killing this badger. The only thing you need to kill this badger right now is kill the pigeons, and then the badger is absolutely dead meat. Look, yeah, see? Melvinfro knows this. Sells off the squirrels. They're just completely useless. There's no point. And farms the crap out of the second base. Now, Kipo moving in. This is I don't know if this badger's going to survive. This already losing a pigeon. Already losing a second pigeon. Oh no! Kipo going to try to focus the base down. Will get it. But does not know there's a second mill, I think. Now, trying to get this badger. It's low, but I don't know. This badger is fully revved up. It's so much damage. Is it enough? It's so low. Can it get killed? Oh, and a pigeon pops out, keeping it alive at 10 HP. Gonna get healed up, and Melvinfro up to so many farms. Kipo doesn't know about these farms. He doesn't know. He thinks he has the upper hand. He knows there's a base somewhere, but he does not know where. I think Kipo just needs to keep putting the pressure on. 18 squirrels, and this badger is getting healed up slowly but surely. This is the last thing keeping Melvinfro in this game, and now Kipo sees it. Now Kipo has to be worried. What do I do? What do I do to take out this mill? Do I have to take out the badger first or take out the mill first? Either is probably game winning. Unless you take out the mill and sacrifice your whole army or something like that, and Melvinfro can counter push. But yeah, I don't know. Here we go. This is the badger, kind of looking for a little bit of poke damage here. Has a bit of a nice high ground water thing to abuse. Now, Kipo going to throw down some moles. I think this is okay. Has a snake now, too, and this snake is going to be really dangerous for Melvinfro to deal with. And look, yeah, Kipo's going to move out now. Melvinfro, if Melvinfro loses these pigeons, I think it's like there's nothing you can do, because the snake tags are just it for the badger. So here comes the fight. Pre-healing, already getting done on that badger. No tags yet onto that badger. There's one tag. And these pigeons still alive. There we go. That's 2 snake tags. It's I think it's dead. I think it's dead. I think it's dead. Yeah, the badger is dead. No, unless this pigeon can save it. I don't know if this pigeon can save it. No, we're gonna die of another. Oh my goodness, it's so low. Oh, another snake tag. That's gonna be it. That's the badger dead, right? Oh my goodness, can it die? The badger survives. You're absolutely kidding me. There's no way. That is insane. I cannot believe Melvinfro yet again gets away with this badger alive. This snake tag gonna get healed off of these pigeons. This is absolutely incredible play from Melvinfro. And I think Kipo is just running out of gas. Look how much Kipo loses in all these fights over and over and over again. Now, Melvinfro ahead on farms. What a complete switch up in this game. No snake tags quite yet. Kipo just hoping for something, anything at this point. All the pigeons are dead, though. I think he needs to break this rev. 1 poison tag, 2 poison tags. This could be a dead badger. This could be it. That's 3 poison tags. That's a dead badger. Now Kipo needs to disengage. That badger is not going to survive. And this might be it. This could be it. This could be it. Kipo managing to bring this game around. Can he put enough pressure onto these Warrens to try to bring this home? Only a couple squirrels left in this fight. Gonna try to take out, but Melvinfro has a really large advantage. Oh my goodness, now on top of pigs. Trying to rebuild Warrens desperately. Melvinfro has fought so hard in this game, but now losing pigs, just losing everything slowly, but surely. Melvinfro so close to getting a squirrel out. Can he kill it? No, the pig survives, but wow, what a complete turnaround here. This is such a scrappy game. I cannot believe it. Melvinfro is still in this, though. Oh, losing that. This is so close. Kipo now starving. Down to only 1 squirrel. And now, Melvinfro pressuring the Warrens. But Kipo has a lot more tier 1. Oh, and actually, no, that's not true. I was wrong. Well, on the front lines, but Kipo stopped the starvation. Now they're even on tier 1. This is so scrappy. This is so scrappy. But I think the real thing to look at here is Melvinfro has tripled the income that Kipo has right now. I mean, that is the big thing to look at. Kipo only at 1 and soon to be maybe 2 farms. And Melvinfro getting up to 15 squirrels. Kipo has to be worried here. I don't know if Kipo has this anymore. It was so close for so long, but at this point is a little bit too far behind. Unless they make some miracle out of this defense, I think this might be it. I don't know if Melvinfro maybe waits just a little bit too long, decides to make just the wrong decision. They could obviously throw this. This is such a scrappy game right now. But Melvinfro up to 15 squirrels. Kipo even sold down one of his squirrel warrens. And this is just too many squirrels. 6 versus 15 squirrels. Melvinfro is just going to win right here. Oh my goodness. After such a crazy game, Melvinfro operating on just a badger and 3 squirrels. This is it. I don't think Melvin can possibly lose this, and Kipo taps out. GG. Melvinfro taking the series 3-1. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Come back to the channel for more casts. Will be coming soon. And see you all around.